It's hard to understate the importance of being aware of what you're thinking about. So often we let our thoughts lead our lives without giving them a second look. And we end up asking ourselves, how did I get here? Fortunately, there's a tool to help us address this matter, which is being aware of what you're thinking about, or being mindful. In this video, I'm going to talk about what mindfulness is, why it's important, and how it can be implemented. There's a quote I love by Eckhart Tolle, and it reads, "Rather than being your thoughts and emotions, be the awareness behind them." The lens that I see life through changed when I understood this quote. And simply, it's that you are not your thoughts. You are you. You are behind your thoughts. You can look at your thoughts, just like your feelings. You are not your feelings. They're a part of you. You notice them, but they are not you in their entirety. Okay, so part one. Similar to how one would train their heart by running or train their muscles by going to the gym, you can train your brain to become mindful. The difference is that instead of a physical manifestation that occurs after cardiovascular training or running, mindfulness affects your conscious experience. So when you train and you're running long distances over a long period of time, you can do things that you couldn't do before. If you are a marathon runner, you can run long distances, but if you've never run before, you can't do that. That's kind of a good way to look at your mind too. If you practice mindfulness, you're gonna be able to do things you couldn't before. So you might not lose your temper. You might be happier when normally you wouldn't be. Practicing mindfulness is so powerful because it changes your conscious experience. So ultimately, training your mind allows you to move through situations in an entirely new way. When I began this journey, I was super curious between the difference between mindfulness and meditation. I wasn't sure if they were the same thing. And without going into too much detail, here's how to think about it. Mindfulness involves paying deliberate attention to the present moment without judgment, with the aim of fostering self-awareness and an open, non-reactive attitude. Meditation, on the other hand, is a specific technique or exercise that involves focused attention on a single point, like the breath or a mantra, and aims to achieve heightened concentration or relaxation. It's important to note here that mindfulness can be also practiced as a meditation. So there are mindfulness meditations, but separately from mindfulness meditations, there's the quality of mind of mindfulness. So just like joy is a quality of mind, feeling joyful, mindfulness is a quality of mind where you can feel mindful or you can be aware of the present moment. So why is mindfulness so important? There's this idea that I love, as you think you shall become. It actually comes from the Bible in Proverbs chapter 23, verse 7. And the King James Version says, "As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he." This is such a powerful idea. The fact that if you think something and believe it, you'll see that. Thoughts, actions, result. And even if you think about it from an imaginary perspective, it's part of your conscious experience. If you are thinking on something, it inhabits your imagination, and therefore, on some level, whether imaginary or physically apparent, it becomes manifested. If you are looking at getting a new car, you might start seeing that new car everywhere. And it's not that the manufacturer started making more cars or everyone started buying that car. It's actually something known as the Bader-Hoff phenomenon, or also known as the recency bias, frequency illusion. There's a lot of names for this, but it's a cognitive bias that explains that when you experience seeing something for the first time, you might see it again and again and again if your mind is focused on it. I think knowing this is pretty transformational. It gives you the awareness that you can choose better thoughts. If what you think about has an effect on what you pay attention to, and vice versa, it makes sense to make sure you're focusing as much attention on the right thoughts. The next time you're frustrated or angry, remember that no one is choosing those thoughts except for you. You are the one that gives meaning to everything within your conscious experience, so it is up to you to decide what thoughts and actions will lead to the outcome that is best. Okay. Part 3, practicing mindfulness. So a really practical way to implement this is through breathing. Just focusing on the air coming into your nostrils, filling up your belly and then your lungs. Counting your breaths, or inside your head or out loud, saying in and out as you breathe in and out. And this will keep your attention focused on the breath and not your grocery list or the thing you have to do for work. Another way to implement mindfulness is through a guided meditation. These can be a great place to start for many people. It being guided helps because you're less likely to have your mind wander. If someone's talking to you, you're gonna stay more focused on what the person is saying. Although I will say it can go a long way just to practice in silence and to train that muscle yourself. Understanding that every thought has a future implication in regards to my mental and emotional health, and ultimately the outcome I will have at the end of the day, at the end of my life is an important reminder. To say it very simply, being aware of my thought life has allowed me to focus on what matters most. I hope this has been positive food for thought for you, and if you got anything out of this video, please consider hitting the like button and subscribing for more mindsets, tools, vlogs, and anything that I decide to post on here. Please comment below any thoughts you have on mindfulness. I would love to hear them. Have a blessed rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.